Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Every day there are countless books and articles that are published offering the key on how to make your business a success. It's easy to feel overwhelmed trying to keep up and run your business. That's why Deb Creer created the Business Power Hour. Keep up on the latest trends, best practices, and techniques for how to make your business a success. Let the Business Power Hour do the heavy work for you.
Good morning, good morning. I am Deb Creer, and I am passionate about giving professionals the tools that they need to make themselves and their businesses as successful as possible. And I am so excited today because we're going to be talking with an absolutely fabulous woman. We're going to be talking about your health. And it's something that I think, especially as professionals, we don't always think a lot about. We push it aside. We think, I don't have time for that. And then, of course, what happens is we get sicker. We have all sorts of issues. And, I want to talk about the various ways that we need to be healthy, both physically, mentally, spiritually, right? And so please join me in welcoming Dr. Rani Thanacoody to our program today. Welcome, Dr. Rani. How are you?
Hi, Deb. I am doing very well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantabulous.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you so much for inviting me on your podcast. I'm really, really excited today for this opportunity to be with you and with your audience. So ready to go and
Perfect.
And let the conversation flow.
I love it. Well, let me tell people a little bit about you, and then we'll jump into that conversation. So Dr. Rani Thanacoody is a visionary entrepreneur based in the United Kingdom. As the esteemed founder of AmazingYou, she has carved an indelible mark in the field of holistic wellness. Armed with a diverse array of qualifications, Dr. Rani is an author, host of AmazingYou Podcast and YouTube channels. She is an international inspirational speaker, author, clinical hypnotherapist, a certified Mars, Venus, life and relationship coach, a skilled breathwork coach, a compassionate chakra healer, a proficient Lifeforce Compassion Practitioner, past life regression practitioner, a tarot reader, and an insightful astrologer. She also authored a chapter in the book, Women of Purpose, Creating a Better World. So, oh my gosh, and I was so honored to be a guest on your podcast. It will go live in February, so we'll go back and update the show notes to provide that in there later. But again, Dr. Rani, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Deb. I am really very, very grateful to be a guest on your podcast because you've been on my podcast and it will be aired in 2026, early next year. So I'm super excited to be here with you and your audience. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Well, I listed some of your qualifications. They are absolutely incredible. But tell us how it is that you got to where you are today.
Thank you, Deb, and thank you for this beautiful introduction. How I got to where I am today, it's been, I must say, a long journey, a hard journey, not an easy one. And it's been a lot of resilience along the way, even as a very little child. So I will not go in too much detail because that will take us hours, but I will just give the audience a bit of background, a context of where I came from. I'm originally from Mauritius, which is a beautiful island in the middle of the Indian Ocean between Africa and Australia.
Wow.
It's where I was born. And as a child, I experienced, for me, it was a huge loss at 4 years old. At 4 years old, my grandmother passed away. She was my best friend, my confidant. She was like my mom to me because she could relate to my emotions, to my feelings. She would understand me. She would listen to me. When you are little, and my parents were there, but they were busy with life, with making money, looking after my sister. So and they were young, so it's not easy for a young couple to do all that. And I was lucky to have my grandmother up to the age of 4. So she was everything to me. Everything I wanted, she would give me. It's like she could understand me, you know. And for a child, that is so, so important, to feel understood, to feel heard, and to feel that they can say what they want without being scolded, without being reprimanded. And soon after 4, I got 4 years old, she passed away. That was something that took me a really long time to recover. I didn't know it when I was a child. I felt lost after she passed away. I felt confused. I felt that I don't know my place in this earth anymore. And I started to shut down. And soon after she passed away, I experienced sexual abuse at kindergarten.
Wow.
Because I was like a child that was lost, and it was easy for predators to feel
somebody paid attention to you, and you...
Absolutely. Yes. And I thought it was, but then I realized, no, it's not something I felt comfortable, but it took me a while to tell my parents because I was scared of their reaction, you know?
Right.
And when I told them, I knew their reaction wasn't that good. And I felt so guilty, so much shame, and didn't know what to do with all these emotions. As a child, the mind can't process things at that age, and we need the adult to regulate, but not always the adult can be there to regulate us. It depends on their own level of healing and trauma that they've experienced. And they did the best they could with what they knew. And I'm very grateful for that. Because I chose that journey to be here, you know. I made that choice before coming to Earth, that I will come with those family, with those parents, to have this life. And that's how it will be. So it is my responsibility as an adult now to heal those wounds. So as soon as all this happened, they changed my school. But after that, there was like, I continued to attract bullies, teachers who were bullying me. That continued in primary school, in secondary school. I went to university, it was okay. And then I started working. That's where the workplace bullying started. And it was like, oh my God, my life has been a roller coaster of surviving all these experiences in the workplace, which wasn't pleasant because it takes you from that space where you can feel at peace and happy and safe, because I never felt safe anywhere. Never felt safe. I've been traveling a lot, Deb, been to many countries around the world. I never felt safe because I didn't feel safe within myself.
Right.
You know, I didn't have that foundation of safety when I was little. And that kept going on. And it was a pattern that was repeating. And in 2017, I left the previous job. I said, enough of the bullying. It was too much for me. I went back to Mauritius. It was very hard. I was living in the UK, had my life here. I sold everything, packed my suitcases, went home, and I started to think and to pray and tell God, this cannot continue. I need to find out the root cause. Why is this happening, this pattern? You know, there's something abnormal in me. But there is nothing abnormal. It's just those needs as a child that were not met, you know, of feeling safe, of feeling heard, of feeling cared for, of feeling loved. And I came back to the UK. I was praying a lot when I was home, and a voice told me, you will come back to the UK. I say, coming back? It's not the right place. It never was the right place with all what has happened in the job. But that voice told me, yeah, you will come back. So I got a job. That's very soon, after 6 months, came back. And I'm still in that job now. It's been 7, 8 years now.
Wow. So it was the right thing.
It was the right thing when I listened to my heart and to my inner voice. And I knew that coming to that job, it's not only that job, there is something more. But I didn't know what it was at that time. And I came and in 2020, when the pandemic hit, I was still doing that soul searching journey of I wanted to find out the cause, the root of those patterns. When the pandemic hit, I found the course I wanted. I saw a lady. Her name is Marissa Peer. I saw her on my Instagram. I have never heard of her in my life, never seen her. She just appeared. And then I say, listen to her voice. And I say, yes, I will join her hypnotherapy course. Because as a child, I was interested in psychotherapy,
Okay.
in psychoanalysis. It was something I was fascinated. And I say, I'll join the course. I don't know why. I'm not going to university because university is too theoretical. I don't want to learn counseling at university. I want something that is practical, you know. And that was the hypnotherapy course that I did. I did that for 3 years. I trained as a therapist, clinical, as a hypnotherapist, and then as a clinical hypnotherapist. And that has been a life-changing course, Deb. And this has led me to other courses, breathwork course, past life regression, tarot reading, astrology, all these different modalities that I learned that have been so useful, each one in their own ways. But the biggest breakthrough for me has been the hypnotherapy because it has helped me to go to a place that I have closed off. You know, I have numbed myself for years and I stopped feeling since 4 years old. So I didn't feel pain.
Because you got hurt so bad.
Yes. And I didn't know how to cope at that time, you know, with my feelings. So I said the best thing is to numb everything, you know, not to feel. And that's when I started to feel emotions. Oh my God. That course has helped me to go to the root cause of those issues and to access a part of my subconscious that I have shut down. So I shut down all my childhood memories because I numbed myself. And I couldn't remember anything from my childhood. But in doing the hypnotherapy, it's like it has opened a box that was closed, opened a gift box. It's not any box, it's a gift box because all these memories are gifts to help us to understand ourselves and to heal those wounded parts so that we can become whole again. I can tell you, my life has changed since doing those courses, the hypnotherapy. I feel more alive than I have ever been in my life. At 20, I was like a dead person. I had no life, no energy. It's like I was just like a zombie. But now I feel alive. I have energy. I can stay awake until midnight and I am always full of energy. And I used to have a lot of tummy issues, irritable bowel syndrome. This has been healed a lot. Like I must say, this has been reduced a lot. This has allowed me to eat more variety of food that I ever had before. And this has, doing all these sessions, and I continue to do healing because, you know, healing, it's not a one-time thing.
Right. It's a continual.
Yes. There are layers. As you peel one layer, you discover another layer. And peeling all those layers, it's always bringing more. It's opening your heart, all your energy centers even more, you know, so that you can really be who you are, be the real self, be authentic to yourself. Because as a child, we all, whether we had big trauma, small trauma, and it doesn't have to be accidents. A small trauma can be our parents scolded us. And as a child, we interpreted that as
a horrible person.
Yes. Yeah, it's small things. And I see that with my clients. Or sometimes the clients will say in the session, For them, the parents didn't give them the time, and then they started to interpret it for them that they are stupid. So they create their own beliefs. Yes, they develop their own beliefs, and those beliefs hurt us. They were useful as a child.
Right, because it protected us.
It did protect us. But then as we grew up, it started to hurt us because we become people pleaser. We care too much we become the carer. We care too much for others. Or when we are not able to deal with those needs that were not expressed, we can become sick all the time. I used to be a sick child, Deb. That was my way to get attention, to get love. So the doctor would go and see me. How are you? Let me see. Open your mouth. It was a way for me to get love.
He paid, like you said, he paid attention to you.
He paid attention to me. And I also became the carer. I played the role of the child who cared for everybody's needs. But I forgot my needs because I abandoned myself, having had to survive all these situations. I lost myself. I lost who I was. Lost the essence of me as a child. And then I numb myself, and then I start to people please everybody, make everybody happy. We do that. And this was not serving me as I grew up, and I realized, and some of us, we can play 2 or 3 of these roles. So there's the sick child. We play also the carer, the one who cares for everybody. We play the rebellious child.
Right, yeah, the destructive.
Yes, because it's a way to attract attention for the child.
Right.
Or we play the child who has to be the perfect child. Yes, we have to be everything perfect.
Right.
We have to clean everything, So this is a kind of perfectionism. So we can play 2 or 3 of these roles depending on what we experience as children. And I started to understand all that, because as you have hypnotherapy session, it opens your subconscious to more and more knowledge and more healing and growth. And I would say this had led me to where I am today, to be able to write books, book chapters. In 5th book I have co-authored. This is my 5th book recently. That is called Women of Purpose, Compassionate Hearts. And I have a podcast that you've been on that. Also, I deliver sessions for clients online all over the world, hypnotherapy, astrology, coaching, life and relationship coaching. And I've been on so many podcasts. I've been a guest. My life has changed. And how I react as well to situations has changed because I do not react as I used to be. I now am more peaceful within myself, and I have found more joy within myself, which is really, really beautiful, to enjoy first your own company, give yourself the self-care. We were talking about self-care.
Yeah, self-care is so critical.
Oh, yes, so critical. And it can be the little things. I started doing something that the audience can do. I learned that recently from a friend. She said she bought a book, and the book title was Buy the Damn Flowers.
I love it.
Yeah.
And wait for somebody to give you flowers. Buy them yourself.
Buy them yourself. And I started doing that. And that gave me so much joy. And I buy specifically roses. Because roses, I don't know if people know, it's a very special flower that hold the highest frequency. It holds the love frequency. When people are in love, they always give flowers to friends. Yeah, so roses is a very, very special flower. And oh my God, when the flower blossoms, it's so beautiful. And I take the time every day to talk to my roses and to look at them, to feel their energy within me, to really embrace the energy of the rose and this is so beautiful. This is a simple self-care that people can do.
Right.
And it's really, really powerful, I tell you. Yes. And just looking at the flower.
Oh, they're so beautiful.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and for others, it might be going for a walk and, being out in the fresh air, sitting by the ocean, whatever it is. There is something that is so powerful about nature.
Mm.
And I think, especially for people who live in cities, they get away from that, right? There might be a little patch of grass and a tree here or there, but to me, it's also the air that you're breathing, right? Are you only breathing in the exhaust of cars and things like that, or are you breathing healthy air? I remember when I was so sick, I got out of the hospital and my doctor said, you have got to get outside. This is the doctor telling me this.
Okay.
You have got to get outside and take walks and get fresh air.
Ah.
And it was so healing.
Yes.
Just to breathe in and have it not be hospital air, right? But and have the sunshine, right? Because we need the natural vitamin D, all of those things. And so, yeah, and we forget it. I mean, 5 minutes for some people is more than enough to go out. And that comes back to that self-care, right? Go and sit outside, listen to the birds. If you're living in a city, well, go find a park, do something to be able to get some Mother Nature.
Oh, I love that you said that. That's so true, Deb. Because I've been doing that a lot. As soon as the pandemic was over, I was going every day, even middle of the pandemic, I was going every day for a long walk, an hour. And that helped me to ground with Mother Earth, helped me to connect to her, to connect to the beauty of nature,
Right.
to look at the birds, the dogs, the swan, all these, appreciate nature, appreciate the trees and how everything lives in harmony outside. And they are not fighting the trees, they understand each other. It's so, so peaceful. That gives me the greatest joy every day. And today I went for my walk as well. So I highly, highly recommend your audience.
Right.
That is the greatest self-care.
Well, and even if you're in the city, get outside.
Yeah.
Years ago, I worked for in a business. We were the entire building, and this was in downtown Denver. Large building, 17 stories. We were the entire building, right? And we would still get out and go for a walk, even if it was just around the block a couple of times. Again, it's different air because when you're in those buildings where the windows don't open, and there was just something about that. It was kind of like your mind reset.
Yes.
And we love being able to do that. And a lot of times it was, a group would go and we might still be talking about business, but it was a totally different conversation, right?
Yeah. When I go home for holidays, my parents live in an apartment and sometimes they don't have time to drive. What we do, we go on the rooftop. So they open the rooftop and they say, all the residents can come for a walk. And Deb, it's so beautiful on the rooftop because we see mountains, mountain ranges, we see the sea, and the air is much better because it's on the rooftop. It's much, much higher.
Yeah, you're up above all of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Well, I find it interesting that you now choose to be a caregiver. But that is very different to make that choice to do that as opposed to feeling like you have to. And there's so many people who, and especially if they're, mothers, parents, you feel like you have to do that and that you have to be taking care of everybody in your department and, and all of those things. But when you choose to be that caregiver, it is so very different.
Yes. Yes, we always have choices in life. That is true. And nobody can make those choices other than us. We have been given the free will. So I think we can't expect others to be our saviors and to wait for them to come and save us. We have to save
Damsel in
ourselves.
distress, right?
No, we have to save ourselves,
Right.
And this is the power that we've got to save ourselves and to create the life that we want by using our imagination.
Right.
And Albert Einstein did say imagination is more powerful than knowledge.
Right.
So with our imagination, everything, your laptop has been created out of imagination, the picture behind it, everything in this world, if you think about it, it's through our imagination. So I think we have to remember how powerful we are. We are not just puppets or surviving here, but when we start to go within, we discover our inner gifts. That is about finding our inner peace, finding happiness inside, because everything comes from the inside.
Right.
Nothing is from the outside. Outside is just, it is just like an illusion. It's what is inside will be created on our outside.
Right.
And it was interesting. This past few months, I've been working on having more inner peace, finding that inner peace within myself, which is really beautiful. And yesterday I talked to one of my students came and talked to me. And I asked him, so this is the end of the term, you are going back. He's from Mexico. And I say, what have you learned from your time in the UK? And he told me, I have learned so much about the studies and all that. But he said to me, the greatest self-discovery was finding inner peace. I say, oh, that is the most priceless gift you have discovered about yourself.
Right.
One of the priceless gifts that nobody can take from you.
Right.
Because it's a place that you can access. It's like finding that temple within you that you can go. And it was so beautiful to hear that, because academic knowledge, yes, you can get it. It will help you to live your life. It will help you to find a job. But the real treasures, I think it's your spiritual treasures within you.
Right.
And that will help you to find happiness, abundance, and to really live a life that you are meant to live, that is meant for you.
Right. How many people are afraid of that? Because they've been going down this one path. Maybe it was that, when they were little kids, their parents said, you will do this.
Yes.
And all of those things. And so they're thinking, what if I find out I shouldn't be doing that? What do you tell people?
Yes, that's a great question, because I have that among a lot of students or parents coming to me and they say, I want my kid to become a doctor. I want my kid to become a lawyer.
They want what's good for them, right?
Yes. And also they want their kid to fulfill their dreams. They haven't been able to become a doctor or a lawyer.
So now
their kid can. Yes. So they put a lot of pressure on that kid, but that kid is not happy, That kid will do it, but at some point in their life, they will realize that this is not what they have come here for. And they will be starting that search of what is their purpose. That is their purpose.
Right.
But I would say the purpose, finding what is meant for you, you have to start looking at, there are different ways of doing it. One that I found useful for me that has helped me was looking at what I love to do when we are children between the ages of 2 and 7.
Okay.
Because at that age, we are very creative and we are still exploring the world, but as our soul is very pure, we know what we want. I remember my niece, she was 2 years old, and she was so full of life at that time. And I used to ask her, what would you like to do someday? She said, I would like to be a director of a dance school. I say, okay, that's great. And now she's 15. She loves dancing. And I encourage her. I said, if you love it, do the things that you love, It's about finding in your childhood, what are the things you love doing? Like for me, as a child, I used to like writing on the it was a blackboard before.
Right.
I remember I told my dad was a school money director.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and I would see him writing on the board, but I love that. I don't know. I found that interesting as a child, so I asked him, can he buy a blackboard? So he had one made by.
One that was your size.
Yes, it was a little one just for me. And I remember I would spend hours sitting with my teddy bears and explaining on the blackboard, and it was so fun for me.
So you were a teacher even then?
Even then, I didn't know. Yes, but for me, it was my way of playing. We all use different ways to express that.
Right.
And then when I turned 18, I say, yes, I would love to go into teaching. So he gave me that experience to teach in his school. So I taught a little bit, and then I realized I really like that, but I don't want to teach in secondary, but I want to teach in universities. And that's where I went. Yes. So I went for further studies, and now I have been teaching for 20 years in university. I love teaching. I love it. Even if one day I stop teaching, I will still be doing my business, my private business with the hypnotherapy and the coaching, and I'm still going to be teaching. So I think that's how I found mine. But for other people, how they can find it's about getting out of their comfort zone and trying new things.
Right.
Reviving, bringing back those gifts. Just try something you've never tried. I go for painting classes. I used to love painting as a child, but now I decided to go for painting classes, and I love it. So in trying new things, that's how you will discover your gifts. And in doing hypnotherapy, that's how I discovered I want to help people to do that, to heal themselves and to be able to live the life that they want, feel alive, attract the relationship they want, and stop playing those roles that they were playing as a child, the needy child, the sick child, but really stepping in their authenticity and really being able to express what they want and do the things that they love. So I love doing that. I love the hypnotherapy and the coaching. So I think it's about trying new things. If I had stayed in my comfort zone, Deb, I would not have discovered all that. It was all hidden. It was like, inside of us, and the Egyptian talk about that, the key of life, the ankh. And I would see that we hold the key of life, yes. And only us can open that key inside of our heart. Nobody can. You cannot open the key for me. You can open the key, but it won't be the real me, Yeah.
Well, and we've got to stop worrying about what everybody else thinks, right? And whatever it is, even, I was talking to somebody the other day about what they were wearing, and they were like, oh, I probably shouldn't wear this. I said, why? Do you like it? Yes. So, or, career, whatever it is, we've got to, and of course we were raised to please, people. And so we did care first what our parents thought, and then what our teachers thought, and all of those people. And we really did, stop thinking, what is it that I want? What do I want? Because of course, if we did, we were told, oh, that's selfish.
Yes.
And of course, the reason that they were saying that is because they'd been told that, right? They'd been told, no, you can't do what you want to do. You have to do what society thinks you should do, or whatever it is. And I mean, we just see so many people. Now, some people are very happy. That's great. But we see so many people who are unhappy. Whether it's just, I got to go to work today, or, a lot of unhappy relationships and things like that. And it's not being, well, maybe it is being selfish, but it's not a bad thing to be selfish.
Yes, I think it's important at some point, mostly for women,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to sometimes learn to put themselves first
Right. Mm-hmm.
and to be a bit selfish.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that they close themselves and within them close
Right.
close themselves on them and not being open. No, it's about finding the time to put themselves first throughout the day.
Right.
It, instead of always because as women we come from cultures that taught us how to give and give and give and we feel so drained at the end of the day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I
Yeah,
definitely, it's the oxygen mask thing, right?
yes,
You have
yes,
to put
absolutely.
your oxygen mask on first before you help somebody else. And that sounds really stupid and really silly, but that really is what this is about. Because if we aren't taking care of ourselves, we're not going to take care of someone else the best that we can.
Yeah,
It's
so
funny. I was supposed to be on somebody else's podcast today, and she sent me a note and she said, "Oh my gosh, my mom and my daughter are sick. We need to reschedule." I said, "Well, of course, family always comes first."
yes.
And then I said, "Please remember to take care of yourself." And she was just stunned that I said that. And, but I mean, how many times have we seen that? Where as the caregiver, we have gotten ourselves so far down that then we get sick. And then there's nobody to take care of us. I mean, that's the thing. But yeah, and it's not being selfish, and we're not saying being narcissistic either. I mean,
No,
that's
no, no, no.
no. It is because when we are happy, then we're able to be happy with and for others.
Oh, yes. When we are starting to fill our old cup
Mhm.
first, our cup will start to overflow with love, with peace,
Right.
with joy. Then we are able to give to others. And we are also able to receive because when our cup is empty, we can't receive.
Right. And
We are,
it's so important to receive.
yes, to receive and also be able to ask for help. Because as women, we think we can do everything by ourselves. And it's good to do, but it's put us too much in our masculine energy. So we need to learn also to receive from others, which is because that build up our hormones as well. When we start to receive, we go into our more feminine energy and we need to be supported. We need to accept from others. So asking for help and receiving help, this is something that we need to learn for ourselves, and it changes the whole ball game for us.
And there's nothing wrong with it. I
No?
found that earlier this week. I was having some issues going on, and some of my very dear friends said, "What can I do? How can we support you?" I'm fine. I'm fine, right? And they kept pressing,
Okay.
which was good, right? And
Yes.
I finally did think, okay, I'm good. I'm good, but it was so special that they offered, right? And I think that's the thing. It doesn't make us any less. And I'm putting that in my little air quotes for people who are listening, to say I need help. Or to just accept help. Sometimes you don't even need to ask, and people will give you help.
I think it's a sign of strength and bravery to ask for help, because you are going out of your way and you know how to ask for what you need. So there is nothing wrong with that. And I think it's coming from a place of openness and vulnerability, which is all strength that society has made us become in such a way that we can't ask, we can't give, we become like robots. We live our life, we only follow the media, and that was made purposely to make us forget our gifts and forget who we are.
Well, and we think it makes us weak to ask for help. And when I work with people who are dealing with cancer, I tell them the strongest thing you can. And now I struggle with this myself, but I tell them that the strongest thing you can do is to ask for help. And sometimes it's they might be depressed. They might need help from a counselor, a therapist, a minister, whoever. And there is nothing wrong with that. Not asking for assistance when you need it is the issue.
Yes. Oh, yes, yes. I thank you for highlighting that, because we have become so, it has become a habit for us not to ask for help, to think we can do everything on our own, and then we struggle. We become stressed out, we burn
Well, no,
out,
we're doing this all. I have to do this all by myself.
and we start to complain. Yes. So I think it's about relearning. I think when we discover ourselves, we are relearning how to live life, how to understand ourselves, because I think everything about this life journey, every relationship, every meeting I meet, every person I meet, it's helping me to learn something about me, to discover something about me. And I think it is an ongoing journey. It is a lifelong journey, and it is through our relationships that we can grow, heal, and become whole again.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and from a business perspective, we all think, I'm the boss, I can't ask for help. Well, there's nothing wrong with it, and more importantly, you're showing your employees or your staff or your consultants or whatever the heck they are, that you trust them, that you value them, and it's not, and you still might need to provide assistance, things like that, but show them that you think they can do it, and empower them to do it, and delegate. That's one of the hard things for me, because I'm the only one who can do it, and you're right. But yeah, we hired these people because they're intelligent, they're good at what they do, whatever it is. So get out of their way and let them do it, and show them that you trust them to do it.
Yes, that's so true. Yes, I think we want to, we have learned to prove so much of who we are, to prove ourselves to the world. It's society have made us become like that. I think it's a lot to do with the education, all these different institutions that have made us look for validation, look for love outside, and made us forget who we really are and where the gifts are. And it's only when we start to give ourselves the time, listen to our body, take care of our body, that we forget, because we tend to do so many things, running around like a crazy chicken, And when we start to turn within, I think it is life-changing.
Right.
And not only you change your life, but you change the life of the people around you, and you help the planet to heal. Because when you heal, you react differently. People feel your energy, but you are also helping the planet to heal and the people around the world. So it's a ripple effect.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it is harder for women. I say that as a woman, right? Because we're told, well, you can't be a good leader because you're emotional.
Yeah.
You're going to cry once a month. Oh, and all of those things. And of course, that is what makes us who we are. And I find it very interesting now that when we talk about very good male leaders, we're starting to add words like empathy and, all of the so-called feminine traits. So when a good male leader has those, we think, hey, this is great. And I love that we're doing that. And I love that, we are accepting the fact that women can have empathy. We can show concern, all of those things. And it's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing, because we've been so accustomed in working in male-dominated areas. And as women, we start even to adopt those masculine values, of assertiveness, competitiveness. And that's not good for women. We are wired differently.
We're team players.
Yes. And from the gender intelligence of Mars Venus coaching, when we look at the brain of men and women are wired differently. It's like women have the both sides more connected than the men. It doesn't mean that the men are less, but the men have different gifts. Like, for example, because these two sides of the brain are not connected, so men tend to be more focused when they do something, which is great. They have
Right. Oh, yeah. They're not like me going, squirrel. Right.
yes. That's what we women do because it's so connected. We connect everything to everything in our brain,
And then I forgot what I was doing to start with.
which is good in a way because we can multitask.
Right.
So this is a gift, So we need to acknowledge and to bring together that men have their gifts. We as women, we have our gift of bringing wisdom, bringing love. And when we are able to appreciate the men for who they are, and when we are able to receive support, it's a beautiful marriage of the masculine and the feminine energy, and we can work together. We are not here to compete.
Right.
We are here to complement each other and to support each other on that journey. And I think that's something that in organizations, they have to work on understanding that that's why men are men, women are women. Our brain is wired differently, but when we work together with each other, we can do great things,
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
It's very complementary.
it's very complementary. And I was listening to a coach yesterday. She was saying, as women, we have to be 60% in our feminine and 40% in our masculine.
Yeah. Okay.
And for the men, they have to be 60% in their masculine and 40% in their feminine, because then we are more balanced in who we are. It's not that we have to be only masculine or only feminine. Yeah, because there are times you have to run your business. You have to use your assertiveness. You have to put ideas forward, which is okay. But then when you get home, you are able to relax as well, to calm down and to rest and to do things for you and to have someone do things for you as well, which is very, very important.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
And it is important to take those breaks. I was on a call yesterday and we were talking about work-life balance. And I always make a face at that, right? I don't like it. I don't like that term because, first of all, to have balance, it's 50-50, right? You don't have balance if it's, you're out of balance if it's something other than 50-50. So then that implies that work should be 50% of what you do. And your personal life should be 50% of what you do. And that's never that way. And then we feel like there's something wrong when we're not. And, there are times where work is going to be 90%, right? And then there are times where your personal is going to be 90%. And I think we need to embrace that and not try to make it balance. I think that's where the difficulty comes in, is when we try to force it. Because there are times where you're just gonna work more. There are times where it's like, nope, need a break. And that's perfectly fine.
Yeah. It's very interesting you talk of work-life balance, because I did my PhD dissertation on work-life demands and resources. So that is about balancing how men and women balance their work roles and their family roles, as well as the demands from the work and the family. And because I was so curious, how do they get that balance, And there is no, like you said, no 100% balance, like we can't have that balance all the time. But life, it's always changing. Life is always changing. And it's a bit like we are on a bicycle, On that bike, we have to keep riding the bike.
If you stop pedaling, you go thud.
Absolutely. And life is like that too, our life. We can, at some point, have more balance, but we have to make adjustment.
Right. And I think that's the important thing, is making those adjustments. Because okay, it's a busy time right now, so I have to work longer days.
Yes.
You know, and it was interesting. I interviewed another podcast guest, and he has 6 kids. 6.
Okay.
And he travels a lot. But he said they have a family calendar. And the kids know that they are to put on there, this is what is really important that I need Dad to be there for. And he said, does he make it 100% of the time? No. But he tries, and they appreciate that he tries, you know, but it's so important to go, okay, well, it is important that I make that soccer game, or I get to that band concert, or I get this annual report done, you know, whatever it is. And then, you know, but I don't want to say try to make it balanced, but to, as you said, make adjustments.
Make
you know,
adjustments.
and,
Yeah.
and that comes back to asking for help, right?
Oh,
You know,
yes.
okay, so I'm working on that annual report. I need somebody to help me with it. You know, or whatever it is. You know, maybe you need somebody to pick the kid up and take them to school. You know, and again, you're asking for help, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong. And a lot of people I have noticed in organizations, they wait for their organizations, because a lot of companies now, they have flexible work, work-family arrangements, work-family balance policies. They wait for the company to implement that. No, we can't. We have to take responsibility of our own lives, you know. We have, because this is our life. This is not our company life, our life. It's our life. So these adjustments, we have to make them. We can't wait for the company to make them. If we are stressed out, we need to know, we need to take a rest, you know, we need to take a break. And only us can make that adjustment. But like I said at the beginning, the free will is in our hands. We have got the keys of our life.
Right.
So it's about us making those small changes that will give us the life that we want. I can share with you a very interesting story. A few stories, but I'll share one in particular that I found, that I was so surprised at that time. I had a colleague. She used to come to work at 7 o'clock, Deb, in the morning.
Oh, blah.
And she would leave the job 11 o'clock, midnight.
Oh.
So one day, every time I would go, in the university kitchen, the department kitchen, I would see her. I say, wow, every time I come in the kitchen, I see you. She said, yeah, I eat my food, lunch, breakfast here, and then I have my lunch and
She
dinner.
lived there.
She lived there. That's what happened. Yes. And when I realized what she does the whole day. So she talks the whole day, she meets people, but then how much of her work gets done? Not much.
Right.
And she waits until everybody leaves. That's when she will start to work.
Right.
Until
When she's
11.
not Miss Social Butterfly.
No. And she did that for 13 years.
Wow.
13 years. And
Did she
then
get an ulcer?
No, but she got burnout. She was starting to having lower back issues.
Right.
Because
So
she
she
was
probably
thinking-
sat at her desk a good portion of the day.
Absolutely. And she would tell me, I say, don't you go to home? Don't you go home? She say, yeah, I will go to the gym at 10 and then I'll go home. I'll take even a shower in the gym and then I'll just go home to sleep. So she barely spent time.
Home was a bed, and that was it.
Yes, it was just a bed. And I said, and when she got sick, she took, I think, 3 months off work. And she had to change the way she lived life, you know. And she told me the first time in her life that she bought a blender. She started making soup, and she told me that's so healthy. She said, I used to buy food all the time outside, but now I feel so healthy, so more energetic. I make my own soup. She bought a soup maker.
She had
And
time to do it.
She had time, and it gave her time to look after herself. The other thing she did, she bought a cooker. So she started cooking her own food instead of spending so much money buying every day. You know, fast food can be very costly. And she told me, now I started cooking and eating more healthy meal, because at one point when she was working, she was putting on so much weight. She was eating a lot of sweets. She was so stressed. So when she started cooking, she felt so much better. She even wrote a book during her free time because she free herself the time to think of other things. So she published a book, and she even told me she was thinking of starting her own business. And I said, that's so beautiful to see, that now you have a life and you have a place
Right.
called home, which is your safe place. And I say, I'm so happy to see that. And you look much better.
Right.
So
So
those
when she came
changes,
back to work, did she keep up those good habits or did she fall
yes.
back?
No, she kept those habits.
Mhm.
She left work early. Now she knew that she wants to go home and do her other stuff. And she realized that this is not the job she wants to continue. So I think she left the university where she was working and she's now a business entrepreneur.
I love it.
Yeah.
And all of this, when we wrap it all up, is to say we have to pay attention to ourselves.
Yes.
And whether it's that we've got an ulcer or we're not sleeping well or we're happy, right? Think about, why are you happy? What are you doing that made you happy? Do more of that. And so I love this conversation. And we've been talking an hour. Oh my gosh, this is just right. We could go on forever. And yeah, we'll just have you on again. Because there's all these things I didn't even ask. But for people who are saying, Dr. Rani, I need to work with you, how do they find you and what are the services that you provide?
Thank you for asking, Deb. So if you want to work with me, I work online only. And you can reach out to me by contacting me on my website that Deb will put. So my website is https Dr. Dr. Rani Rani Thanacoody THANACOODY.com. And once you go to my website, you will find all my services: hypnotherapy, astrology, tarot reading, compassion session, and you can even register your name and you will get a free copy of my book chapter, I'm So Glad You Left Me. So I share the story of, I'm so glad my grandmother was not there, but it helped me to find myself, And yes, you can. I have my podcast on that, so you can scroll down, you can listen to my podcast on my website. And then from time to time, I do workshops that I post. And there are links as well, because I believe that it's not only about inner healing, but it's also taking care of your body. So I have a few businesses that I have partnered with that sells organic stuff, organic vitamins, supplements. So have a look and see what's best for you. And you can book also for a free 30 minutes discovery call on my website, and you will get the free book chapter. So
Well,
feel
and you
free to
are
reach-
in the United Kingdom and you work in the evenings for those of us in the States to make it
Yes.
easier.
It makes it easier so I can reach out to people from over the world. Yes, yeah. So thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, so I will be really happy to see how I can be of service to you and help you on your journey to become the best, highest version of you. Yeah.
I love it. And this is just so interesting to me because I think we were talking before the program, there's so much going on in the world and we're struggling.
Yes.
Can we control 99% of it? No. But we can control us and we can control how we react to it. So folks, stop doom scrolling on Facebook, turn off the news, get outside, do some breathing, all of those things, and you will find that life will get better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
Well, Dr. Rani, really, this has been just delightful. Do you have any final thoughts that you want to leave everyone with?
Yes. Thank you, Deb. And I will come back to what we talk about, self-care, about taking care of ourselves. So I would like to remind the audience, take care of yourself because you matter. And remember that you are enough and that you are amazing. You have always been amazing and you always will be. And also, I want you to remember that you are the treasure that you have been seeking. We go and search for it outside. No. I have traveled my whole life searching for something outside of me. But when I realized that it all starts with me, inside of me, like the book of the alchemist. So remember that you are the treasure that you are seeking. And I'm sending you lots of love, everyone, and hope to see you individually in a session someday. And if not, I wish you all the very best in everything that you do.
I love it. I love it. Well, this really has been such a delight talking with you. We have to, like I said, we have to do it again because I think it's important to show people it's not just about business, all of these things, because none of that matters if we're not right in here, in our heart, in our soul, in our head, whatever, our health is affected, all of those things. And so we will definitely have you on again. I'm Deb Creer. I've been having so much fun talking with Dr. Rani Thanacoody. And until next time, everyone have a great day.
Tune in for our next program for even more trends, best practices, and techniques for how to make your business a success. The Business Power Hour, hosted by Deb Creer, is proud to be part of the C-Suite Network.